Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I would like to talk about sugar and how insulin resistance is dramatically increasing our risk for developing Alzheimer's disease. And I am aware that talking about sugar is a very ambitious plan because let's be honest, what hasn't been said already about sugar? We have a ton of information and resources and videos and specialists and podcasts all telling us the same thing, that sugar is killing us. But despite having this information, most people on the planet have not quit sugar yet, or they have real difficulties in quitting sugar. In today's video, I would like to very briefly explain why insulin resistance is increasing our risk for Alzheimer's, but also share with you my own experience in quitting sugar, how challenging it was, the revelations that I had in the process, and also some tips and tricks for managing sugar cravings. So let's get started. The first topic is the connection between insulin resistance and Alzheimer's disease. And many of you are going to say, yes, but it's only excessive sugar consumption that can cause insulin resistance, which again can increase my risk for developing Alzheimer's. And this is true. But in today's society, eating sugar in moderation, I believe, is it's utopic. It's almost impossible to achieve because sugar is absolutely everywhere. It is a drug, but unlike other drugs, it's a legal drug, and it can be found in the supermarket in almost any product in different forms. And here we're not talking only about white or brown sugar, but also corn syrup, glucose syrup, corn sweeteners, maltodextrin, molasses, and even the so-called healthy substitutes for sugar like coconut sugar, agave syrup, maple syrup, white flour, white rice, and all the products in which these sweeteners are normally incorporated. And I think that we can use the term bad carbs to define those very concentrated carbohydrates which cause very rapid spikes in our blood sugar levels. So 90% of the products in the supermarket are going to have one of these ingredients as the main or secondary ingredient. I found sugar in goose pâtés or in fish cans, and this was really unbelievable. So it's very hard to say that we can eat sugar in moderation. And if you don't believe me, then please check your fasting blood sugar levels in the morning and see if you are within the optimal range. Sugar is embedded in our culture. We celebrate with cake, we express our gratitude or affection with cake, we express our love with cake, and sugar also has a very direct communication with our limbic system, with our emotions. We eat sugar when we feel sad, when we feel depressed or anxious, or simply bored. And in essence, I believe that sugar has become a coping mechanism, which is everywhere, which is legal, and which has devastating effects on our health. As regards the studies that have been made establishing that insulin resistance is very toxic, very inflammatory for the brain, and it increases the risk for Alzheimer's, I would very quickly mention the Hisayama study, which was started in Japan in 1961, and it involved more than 2,000 participants. All the subjects were in their 60s. They were both dementia and type 2 diabetes free, and they were followed by doctors for an extensive period of 15 years in order to establish the incidence of and correlation between the two diseases. And what the doctors found was that people who got type 2 diabetes were twice as likely to also develop Alzheimer's disease. In a nutshell, without going into medical or technical terms, there are four main ways in which insulin resistance is negatively impacting the brain. The first one is that it prevents glucose from being transported and utilized by the brain, and we need to remember that the brain requires glucose as the main fuel source. I know that many promoters of the ketogenic diet are saying that the brain actually needs fat. It does need fat from other points of view, but it is beyond any doubt, it is medically established that the main fuel source for the brain is glucose. Secondly, insulin resistance impairs cognitive function. Thirdly, insulin resistance increases the deposition of beta amyloid protein, which, as we know, is the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. And fourthly, insulin resistance increases the production of AGEs, which are advanced glycation end products, and which are very toxic and very inflammatory for the brain. So these are the four main ways in which insulin resistance is negatively impacting the brain and dramatically increasing our risk for Alzheimer's disease. And as I said, I think it's an illusion to think we can consume sugar in moderation, because concentrated carbohydrates are in almost everything that we eat, especially in the Western diet. As regards my own journey of quitting sugar, I am what I can say is a recovering addict, a recovering sugar addict. I've always loved sugar and desserts. It was my favorite thing in the world, and until 6 or 7 years when I decided to quit sugar, it was also my coping mechanism. Whenever I felt tired or bored or stressed or sad or depressed, I would reach out for something sweet. And when I learned about the connection between excessive sugar consumption and Alzheimer's, and also witnessing what was happening to my mother as her Alzheimer's was progressing, I finally gathered all the required motivation and willpower to quit sugar for 30 days and to see what happens. And surprisingly, I survived the 30 days. What I did not expect was to have so many revelations on other levels. And the first thing that I realized was that by using sugar as a coping mechanism, I was not dealing with negative emotions. I was not dealing with the emotional pain of seeing what Alzheimer's was doing to my mother. I was not dealing with my stress, with my anxiety. And in those 30 days, I was, let's say, confronted with my demons. I had to face my negative emotions and I had to deal with them. And this was really important. It was really a breakthrough, and I realized I needed therapy. I started doing meditation, I started running and working out, and I also started doing breathing exercises. And the benefits, after about 60 days of not eating sugar or bad carbs, the benefits were really amazing. And what I would like to very clearly emphasize was that yes, it's incredibly painful and difficult to quit sugar, but the benefits are absolutely amazing. So first of all, I had to deal with those negative emotions. Secondly, I lost a lot of weight and I really needed that. I picked up very healthy habits like running and working out and meditation and breathing. And I also noticed that I did not get migraines the way I used to. I also noticed that I slept better. I felt less anxious. My complexion was looking brighter and fresher, and everybody was asking me what is changed about me. So it was really one of the best decisions and the best changes that happened in my life. As regards the tips and tricks for cravings, because I still have cravings, the difference is that I no longer give in to the temptation to eat sugar. I can pass by the window of a very decadent pastry shop and I will not give in to the temptation to go in and buy something like a chocolate cake. I have this freedom now, and this freedom is really invaluable. I feel like I finally have control over myself. I don't engage in that self-loathing vicious circle of giving in to the temptation to eat something sweet, overeating, and then feeling guilty and hating myself and hating the fact that I have no control over myself. So I still have the cravings. And what I do is I sometimes wait about 15 minutes for the craving to go away, and I try drinking a very large glass of mineral water. Sometimes I add a bit of lemon and a bit of honey to the mineral water, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't work, what I do, I try eating 2 medjool dates. I absolutely love dates. They have a very reasonable glycemic index, which makes them suitable for type 2 diabetes. And also they are packed with magnesium and copper and potassium and iron. So they're absolutely amazing. If that doesn't work, or if I don't have dates, I can make myself a cinnamon latte with almond milk or coconut milk, and I add a lot of cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves. Cloves are the best antioxidant on the planet. Cinnamon not only curbs sugar cravings, but it also helps in diminishing the deposition of beta amyloid in the brain. So it's absolutely crucial in Alzheimer's prevention. Other times, I will very quickly prepare a chia pudding with almond or coconut or cashew milk, and I will add some blueberries, some strawberries, dark chocolate, and I absolutely love chia puddings. And when I feel particularly sad or anxious, I try breathing exercises. I absolutely love the breathing exercises created by Taylor Sommerville. I will link some of the exercises below. They're great in overcoming states of anxiety. So these are, in essence, the tips and tricks. And I know that there are many books with sugar-free desserts, but the reality is that I don't usually have the time and I don't have all the ingredients. So for me, it's just easier, it's more efficient to reach out for the chia pudding or for the cinnamon latte or for the dates, because they're really, for me, they're quick fixes. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you found it useful. I'd love to hear your thoughts about quitting sugar and why it is so hard to do it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.